Students, now we are discussing the next unit, that is kinematics. Now, what is the meaning of kinematics? It is the branch of mechanics which deals with the motion of body without knowing its cause. So, in this whole unit, we will talk about motion of body in straight line in a plane, but without knowing its cause. So now here the first term which we are discussing, that is frame of reference. Frame of reference is a fixed point or place with respect to which the position of a body is measured. Now next is coordinates. The quantities which determine the position of a body with respect to frame of reference are called coordinates. मीन्स कि अगर आप किसी भी बॉडी की मोशन की बात कर रहे हो, उस बॉडी की मोशन को रिप्रेजेंट करने से पहले you will consider position of the body. So now how many coordinates are required to represent the position of the body? As you are taking this thing, here in this case you see you are considering OX is representing x-axis, OY representing y-axis, OZ representing z-axis. And here this point O is known as origin. So if I am taking here this point P, so in order to represent this point P, 3 coordinates are required. Means we are taking the position of this particle, this point, with respect to x-axis, with respect to y-axis, and with respect to z-axis. So this is the meaning of the coordinates. The quantities which determine the position of a body with respect to frame of reference. So here I have given this example of Cartesian coordinate system. It is the frame of reference with respect to which the position of body is located and its motion is described. Here OX, OY and OZ are positive x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively, and O is the point which is known as the origin. The position of a moving body at any instant of time is determined by measuring the position of body from origin. Now next is what are the types of frame of reference. Now frame of reference are of two types, inertial frame of reference and non-inertial frame of reference. Now the meaning of inertial frame of reference is that any frame of reference which is either at rest or is moving with uniform velocity. Here, in this case, the Newton's laws of motion, those are valid for inertial frame of reference. Now, what is the example of inertial frame of reference? If you are considering that a bus or a train is moving with constant velocity, so then that is known as inertial frame. Or if you are considering that bus is standing at bus stand, so that is the inertial frame. आप कहोगे समझ नहीं आया, समझ आने का इसमें ये मीनिंग है कि आपने एक बस कंसिडर कर ली, बस बस स्टैंड के ऊपर खड़ी हुई है. अब ये एक फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस कैसे है उन पैसेंजर्स के लिए जो कि उस ट्रेन के अंदर बैठे हैं. Now next is the non-inertial frame of reference, which is also known as accelerated frame of reference. So any frame of reference moving with variable velocity, or you can say is accelerated. So that frame is known as non-inertial frame of reference. If you are considering that bus is moving with constant speed on a hilly road, so no doubt speed is constant, but even then hilly road there will be change in direction. So that means this bus is moving with variable velocity. So this will correspond to non-inertial frame. So similarly you can take the example of moving merry-go-round, and even if you consider the example that is earth is revolving round the sun. Earth is revolving round sun in a circular path, and circle is always two-dimensional motion. अब एक चीज़ हमेशा आपने याद रखनी है कि न्यूटन्स लॉज ऑफ मोशन आर नॉट valid in non-inertial frame of reference. So if you are considering any non-inertial frame, so then during considering the motion of the body, Newton's laws will not be valid. Now next we want to discuss the terms rest and motion. A body is said to be in the state of rest if it doesn't change its position with respect to surroundings. And a body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to surroundings. तो जैसा कि अब अगर आप इनकी डेफिनेशन से देखो तो रेस्ट एंड मोशन आर रिलेटिव टर्म्स मीन्स the same body can be in the state of rest and motion simultaneously. कैसे? You can take the example a person sitting in a moving train. A person sitting word is very important. A person sitting in a moving train is at rest with respect to co-passengers but is in motion with respect to platform, with respect to trees, buildings outside the train. अगर आप ये सिटिंग वर्ड मिस कर जाते हो, आप कहते हो पर्सन इन अ ट्रेन, अरे अगर पर्सन ट्रेन के अंदर मूव कर रहा है तो वो अपने फेलो पैसेंजर्स के अकॉर्डिंगली रेस्ट में नहीं होगा. तो इसलिए जब आपने ये एग्जाम्पल देनी है तो आपने क्या कहना है, पर्सन सिटिंग इन अ मूविंग ट्रेन is at rest with respect to co-passengers but is in motion with respect to surroundings. So that means the same person is in the state of rest and motion. So we can say that rest and motion are relative terms. Now next is what is point object. An object is said to be a point object if its size or dimensions are negligible as compared to distance traveled by it. Now, for example, you want to consider motion of the train. Now, train का इतना बड़ा साइज है. अब आप कहोगे कि मैडम ये कैसे पॉइंट ऑब्जेक्ट होगी. बट इफ आई एम टेकिंग दैट ट्रेन इज मूविंग फ्रॉम काश्मीर टू कन्याकुमारी, or if you are considering the motion of aeroplane from India to Canada, then the distance traveled by the train or by the aeroplane is very large as compared to the size of train or aeroplane. So then that size is negligible as compared to distance traveled. So in that very case, we can consider the train or aeroplane to be the point object. Now, next is different types of motion. Motion in one dimension. Now, motion in one dimension means a particle is moving along a straight line. In this case, there is only change in one coordinate. Only one position coordinate is required to describe the position of the particle. Let us say, if you are taking the motion like this, यानी कि if you are considering motion on a horizontal road, if you are considering motion along a vertical path, then this is one dimensional motion. In this case, only x coordinate is varying. In this case, only y coordinate is varying. But if you are taking line like this, so this is not one dimensional. This is wrong. So one dimensional motion means you have to consider only one coordinate. That is important. Now next is two-dimensional motion. Now two-dimensional motion means particle moving in a plane as you are taking here. इसमें हमने क्या लिया, x axis and y axis. So this is xy plane. So now here this is p, position of particle. The position of particle is given by x coordinate and y coordinate. Now if this particle p moves from here to here, then naturally there will be the change in the x coordinate as well as in the y coordinate. So this will be two-dimensional motion. So इसलिए हम इसमें क्या कहते हैं कि two-dimensional motion, a particle is moving in a plane. Two coordinates are required to describe the position of an object. And here you can take the example of crawling of an insect on the floor, motion of earth around sun, motion of a shell fired by the gun, motion of a coin on the carom board. अब क्रॉलिंग जो आप ले रहे हो, क्रॉलिंग मे बी ऑन द फ्लोर, मे बी ऑन द वॉल, तो वो उस पर डिपेंड कर जाएगा कि दैट इज द प्लेन, वेदर इट इज एक्स वाई प्लेन और वाई जेड प्लेन. और जब आप बात कर रहे हो मोशन ऑफ अर्थ अराउंड सन, it is revolving along a circular path. Circle is two-dimensional, so that is the reason that motion of earth around sun is also known as two-dimensional motion. Now next is three-dimensional motion. Three-dimensional motion means that the particle is moving in a space. In this case, we will consider three axes, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. We are taking P as the position with the coordinates x, y and z. Now if this P moves to this P dash, here in this case all the three x, y and z coordinates will move. Then the motion of the particle is known as three-dimensional motion. And we can give here the example of flying of a bird, flying of an aeroplane, flying of a kite. तो obviously इसमें ये space में आ गया. अब आप एक रूम की बात कर रही हो, ये जो रूम है इसमें वॉल्यूम है. इफ आई एम टेकिंग दिस इज द पोजीशन फ्रॉम हियर, आई एम मूविंग हियर, सो दिस इज थ्री डायमेंशनल. बट अगर मैं सिर्फ वॉल की बात करती हूँ, सिर्फ फ्लोर की बात करती हूँ, उसके ऊपर जब हम मूव कर रहे हैं तो वो टू डायमेंशनल मोशन है. जब हम मूव कर रहे हैं तो हमारी मोशन कौन सी होती है? टू डायमेंशनल मोशन. अब इसमें जो आपको एग्जाम में वन वर्ड में ये क्वेश्चन इस तरीके से आ जाएगा कि आपको कोई भी दिया होगा, जैसे आपको दिया होगा कि मोशन ऑफ कैरम और दिस कॉइन ऑन अ कैरम बोर्ड, तो ये बताइए किस तरह की मोशन है, वेदर इट इज़ वन डायमेंशनल, टू डायमेंशनल और थ्री डायमेंशनल. तो आपके पास कॉन्सेप्ट होना चाहिए. तो जब कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आई है आप उसमें खुद एनालाइज करोगे कि कितने कोऑर्डिनेट वेरी कर रहे हैं. अगर वन कोऑर्डिनेट वेरिएशन है तो वन डायमेंशनल मोशन, अगर टू कोऑर्डिनेट वेरिएशन है टू डायमेंशनल मोशन, अगर थ्री कोऑर्डिनेट वेरिएशन है तो थ्री डायमेंशनल मोशन. So that is all in this, and next we